Good morning, dear students. Welcome you all for our SST online class. Dear students, we have already started our social studies chapter Fundamental Rights and Duties. Now, today our topic is Directive Principles of State Policy. Directive Principle of State Policy, which is also known as DPSP. DPSP are the guidelines of framing of the laws by the government. This included in the part 4th of the Constitution and it's enforceable by the courts. Fundamental guidelines for governance that the state expected to apply in framing policies and passing laws. The basic aims of the DPSP is to set up social and economic goals. The DPSP and the fundamental rights forms the conscience of the Indian Constitution. The basic aim of the DPSP is set up social and economic goals to bring socio-economic change in the country, to fulfill the basic needs of the common man, to reshape the structure of Indian society and direction of greater socio-economic equality. The Constitution of India broadly classified directive principle of a state policy into socialist principles, Gandhian principle, liberal intellectual principles. Socialistic principles: adequate means of livelihood for all the citizens and distribution of wealth and material resources among all classes, and to prevent concentration of wealth in a few hands. Equal pay for equal work as a man as well as woman. To secure just human conditions of work and maternity relief. Gandhian principle: to organize village panchayat and to enduing with such powers and authority as may be necessary, to enable them functions as units of self-government, to promote cottage industries on individuals or cooperative basis on rural areas, to safeguard the educational and economic interest of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, the prohibition of liquid and harmful drugs, organize agricultural and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines. Our next point is liberal principles: to uniform and a liberal code of law for all citizens of India, to separate the judiciary from the executive, to raise the standard of nutrition and living of the people, to protect the monuments of historical and national interests, equal justice and a free legal aid to economically backward class, participation of workers and management of organization in industries, promotions and improvement of environment and safeguarding of forest and wild. Directive principle of a state policy explained as per articles of Indian Constitution. Social, political and economic justice. Article 37, while stating that the directive principles are not enforceable in any court of law, declares them to be fundamental to the governance of the country and impose an obligation on the state to apply them in matters of legislations. Directs the state to secure a social order with economic, political and a social justice for the promotion and a welfare of the people. Article 38(2) says that state shall strive to minimize the inequalities of income, status, facilities, opportunities, etc. Principles of policy says that while framing policies, state will strive to provide adequate means of livelihood, equal pay for equal work, resources distribution and safety of citizens and healthy development of children. Free legal aid. Article 39A says that then a state will try to make legal system fair and will provide free legal aid by means of some scheme or law. Organization of Panchayats. Article 40. The state shall take steps to organize panchayats and endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as units of self-government. The 73rd and the 74th Amendment of the Constitution later culminated as a constitutional-backed framework for this directive principle of state policy, welfare government. Article 41. State shall, within its limits of economic capacity and development, will make effective provisions for securing rights to work, education, etc., and to public assistance in case of unemployment, old age, sickness, disablement, or any other case of unserved want, human work, and maternity relief. Article 41 states shall make provisions for securing just and human conditions for work and for maternity relief, fair wages, and a decent standard of life. Article 43. The state will endeavor to secure by suitable legislations or economic organizations or in other way to all workers, agricultural, industrial, or otherwise work a living wage, conditions of work ensuring a decent standard of life, and full enjoyment of legislation and social cultural opportunities, and in particular promote cottage industries on an individual or cooperative basis in rural areas. Article 43A. Workers' participation in management. State shall take steps by suitable legislation or in any other way to secure the participation of workers in the management of undertakings, establishments, or other organization engaged in any industry. Government had launched various schemes on workers' participation in PSUs fulfill these directives. Promotion of cooperatives. Article 43B, inserted by 97th Amendment Act in 2011, says that states shall endeavor to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of the cooperative societies. Uniform Civil Code. Article 44 says that the state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Infant and child care. Article 45. State shall endeavor to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. Article 46. Protection of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, weaker sections from exploitation. The state shall promote with special care and educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people and in particular of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and shall protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Article 47. State shall regard the raising of the level of nutrition and the standard of living of its people and the improvement of public health. And in a particular, the state shall endeavor to bring about prohibition of the consumption except for medicinal purposes of intoxicating drinks and of drugs which are injurious of health. Scientific, agricultural, and animal husbandry. Article 48. State shall endeavor to organize agricultural and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines and shall in particular take steps for preserving and improving the pets and prohibiting slaughtering the cows, calves, and other milch and of cattle. Environment and wildlife protection. Article 48A says that states shall endeavor to protect and improve the environment and the safeguard of the forest and wildlife of the country. Protection of monuments, places and objects of national importance. State will be obliged to protect every monument or place or objects of artistic or historic interest declared by or under law made by Parliament to be of national importance from politicians, disfigurement, destructions, removal, disposal, or exports as the case may be. Article 50. Separation of judiciary from executive. State shall take steps to separate the judiciary from the executive in the public services of the state. Promotion of international peace and security. Article 51. State shall endeavor to promote international peace and security, maintain just as honorable relations between nations, foster respect for international law and treaty. DPSP is added by amendment of Constitution. 42nd Amendment 1976. Four directive principles. Four directive principles were added by 42nd Amendment.